Hi everyone. After a small gap, I'm back with one more video. This is regarding the healthcare aggregation business model which has come into the market in a big way. Whatever you call it, it's a healthcare aggregation. People are calling it healthcare service providing and online platform or whatever. But actually speaking, on the ground, what is happening is in healthcare aggregation. Now let's look at what is aggregation business. So aggregation business, whereas when there is a single player who comes into the market and collects the demands and goes to the supplier. So it's something like a group purchase thing. So when you do a group purchase, you tend to get a discount. So that discount is offered to the end customer, and middleman the aggregator takes a share out of it. So that is how this entire business model works. When we talk about aggregation business, one of the first business model that comes into our mind is food delivery aggregators. Swiggy, Zomato. So, how is it different from healthcare aggregation is one important aspect that we should know. So, how many times you as a person used to order food from outside before these aggregators came into being? So, it used to be like once in a month, once in a week max. But after these aggregators came into the picture, we are ordering food in a metro city. We are ordering food like 4 to 5 times in a week. There are people who are ordering 2 times in a day. So what happens is the total volume of business has increased. So why is because a person can have 3 meals in a day. 3 meals in a day with the population is the total business possibility there. What it has done is it has changed our habits. It has changed our pattern of life. It has changed our day-to-day behavior. So because of that, there is an exponential increase in the number of orders, exponential increase in the number of business. So a restaurant which was serving 100 plates of biryani previously is now serving 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 5,000 plates. So what happens is just by the sheer, exponential increase in the amount of business, these restaurants also end up making money, aggregators also making money, the customer is happy. So here you will see that there is a good number of increase in business that has come to the market. Similarly, when you look at the ride hailing apps like Uber, Ola, here there is a small issue that the number of people who can take Ola and Uber or these cabs are not like the food orders. So the increase in the numbers are not that exponential. So now coming to healthcare. In healthcare, you should understand one important fact, that healthcare is dependent on the population. Just by the presence of a healthcare aggregator does not increase the number of illnesses in a given population. Actually speaking, if an aggregator comes to you, to partner with your hospital and they tell you that they will increase your business, then you should be doubtful. Because see, the number of inguinal hernias in a population, in a defined population, is not going to increase just because an aggregator is there. It is not a habit modification kind of a service. So the number of inguinal hernias or a number of cataracts or number of normal deliveries happening in a set population in a given geographical area remains constant. So the presence of an aggregator is not going to change this one aspect. The increase in business is not by creation of new business opportunities. It is not by creation of new business leads. However, it is happening because of diversion of the existing leads to somewhere else. So this is one important aspect that you should understand. Now what will happen is that this will lead to a very high increase, in exponential increase in the patient acquisition cost. I'll give you a small example. Around 4 years back, before these aggregators, healthcare aggregators were in big play, the Google advertisement bidding rate for a click used to be 2 rupees to 3 rupees in my region. But in last 4 years, this 2 to 3 rupees has escalated to 75 to 80 rupees per click. That's a very huge jump. Now, this is a clear-cut patient acquisition cost. So, when you are going for marketing, when you are going for Google ads, when you are going for other advertising, or whatever to promote your business, your healthcare setup, the presence of an aggregator is going to increase your patient acquisition cost. And remember, this acquisition cost not only increases for you, it increases for the aggregator as well. So The business model over a period of time is not a scalable business model because the population is limited. It is a limited number of leads that all these companies and the hospitals and the doctors are trying to fish from. So this will lead to an exponential increase in the patient acquisition cost. It will lead to exponential efforts for the same outcome. So signing up with an aggregator as a hospital is not a good practice in the long term. Now, one more thing that can happen is that, as I told you, the population that you're working with, the number of patients that your potential patients are limited just by the fact that there's a geography, there's a demographics. So it is quite possible that the patient who is coming to you directly today is going to come through the aggregator tomorrow. Why? Because the fishing ground is the same. There is no increase in the number of patients. There is no increase in the number of the incidence of the diseases in that geographical area. It's going to be the same. So you should actually think very well before jumping into this tie-ups with aggregators, healthcare aggregators, whether it makes sense to you. Because the patients who are walking in directly to you is most likely going to walk into you tomorrow through an aggregator. Now, there are no free lunches in this world. If you're working with an aggregator, they are going to take their share. Now, your revenue per lead, your revenue per case is going to reduce drastically, and it is never going to go up. One of the misconceptions that doctors have or hospitals have, which makes them sign up with this kind of healthcare aggregators, is the fact that when you're operating 5 cases, you can add one more without any much of extra expenditure. Now, this fact these aggregators know. That is the fact that they are utilizing on. We are a capital intensive business. So the amount of money that is required to invest in a hospital to make it functional is very high. And our routine expenses, regular expendables might not be much. One of our biggest investment in this practice, in our own practice, is the skill. And the skill is highly undermined by the presence of these kind of market players. These market players, they take somewhere like 20% to 60% of your revenue. So which is not a very good thing to happen. At the end of the day, it is going to affect your outcome. Now, one more aspect which I would like to highlight on is that there's a financial ecosystem. There's a ecosystem of economics. So a patient comes to you, they pay you some money, they clear their bills, you pay your suppliers, the suppliers pay their manufacturers. These manufacturers use that money to advance, develop. The money that you get, you procure new equipment. So it's a complete healthcare ecosystem where all the players are interconnected. So if there is a certain amount of money which is rotating within this ecosystem because of these patients and the healthcare business, so suddenly when an outside entity which is not a part of the healthcare system per se comes in and takes out 40 to 50% of the revenue out of that entire ecosystem, it is going to affect the future prospects of hospitals. Our scope for expansion, our scope for development, our scope for procuring better equipments is highly cut short. So in a long run, these kind of tie-ups, repeating the same thing again, these kind of tie-ups are not going to be beneficial for either the patients or the hospitals. The patients, we can't put the blame on our patients because they are normal people. We don't expect them to understand the nuances. The amount of marketing these aggregator companies are pushing into the market is so high that they are sponsoring events, they have got star-studded advertising campaigns. So it's very possible in this world where people don't ask their neighbors where to go, which place to visit. People go to the internet. So there are this internet marketing has overtaken. Now here I would not blame the aggregator businesses or the patients. I would blame the hospitals and healthcare practice themselves because we have not kept up with the time. Okay, we need to spruce up our marketing. We need to spruce up our own digital presence very ethically but very strongly, so that no other person can enter and hijack into our field. We need to maintain the pristineness of our practice. We need to maintain the ethical nature of our practice. We need to maintain the financial clarity of our practice. And as I always say, it's not wrong to demand reasonable and justified amount of financial compensation for your work as healthcare practitioners. Doctors don't run on air. We need our decent amount of pay. I'm not asking you to fleece the patient, but yes, we do need our justified amount of pay that which is rightfully ours. So whenever you tie up with any of these kind of business entities, you should be cautious. You should read the agreement very carefully so that you don't end up in a problem later. As of for today, that's it. Thank you, and please subscribe. Keep on popping in here. You will find more helpful content. Please do feel to share any other additional queries. Feel free to ping me up on the contact details below. Thank you, and have a nice day.